Welcome to the Dealreporter Podcast. Hello, I'm Juliana Needham. Joining me today is Ed Vinales, Dealreporter Europe's news editor, and Lucinda Guthrie, Dealreporter's deputy global editor. So, Lucinda, starting with you, Telefonica Deutschland at E+, the European Commission extended its review by 10 days this week for the deal. What's the reason for that extension?
Telefonica requested the extension to give it more time to prepare a remedy package to offset the European Commission's concerns on competition.
And this is linked to another situation that you're looking at as well.
It is. It's linked to Hutch's bid for O2 Ireland. Telefonica is in both situations, so it has a read across. In both cases, the number of mobile operators will decrease from 4 to 3 after the transaction. The bidders are both expected to submit similar commitments to the EC to get their deals through. And obviously, the Commission has to have a coordinated approach to these deals. However, the problem is the two markets are different. So what's accepted in Ireland might not necessarily be accepted in Germany.
And what's your opinion on the position of the EC's competition commissioner, Almunia?
Well, this is the last big decision that Almunia will take before the European elections. After that, some people in the market say he'll be almost a caretaker until the next Commission comes through. Almunia is seen as non-confrontational, and he's also seen as a deal maker. But this is a really tricky situation. The Commission is pro-European consolidation, so does he want to be the guy that blocks TMT consolidation?
And can you give us any colour on the negotiations that are taking place?
Well, our understanding is that Telefonica is expected to submit commitments that are similar to the Orange Austria situation. That would be where they provide access to their networks to a mobile virtual network operator, but also couple it with maybe a spectrum divestment in years to come.
And we're into April now. Do you think there's any chance this deal could get done in the second quarter of this year?
It's touch and go. The latest extension pushes out the deadline for the Phase 2 review to the 28th of May. If Telefonica submits remedies by a certain point in the timetable, then that deadline will stay. It could get pushed out by another 15 working days. But then you've got to remember there could be another information request, for example, and then that just stops the clock. So we're really going down to the wire.
OK, thank you. Now, Ed, over to you. Following a newspaper leak on Monday, it was confirmed that Finland's Metso had received an all-share bid proposal from the UK industrial group Weir. Finland's state pension fund Needham said it would be against the sale of a nationally important company. So what happens next?
Well, as we've reported, this is an unusual situation. Deals in Finland are normally kept quiet until both sides have quietly agreed terms and spoken to and got the go-ahead from their key stakeholders. Then the deal gets announced and it's presented as a done deal, effectively. Historically, the target board has then come out within a week or so and made a clear and emphatic recommendation to target shareholders. That's all gone out the window in this situation. There is no proposal for them to recommend. There are no definitive terms for them to recommend. So therefore, there is no strict timetable. However, that doesn't mean that things are going to move slowly. Needham is breathing down their neck. Investors don't like uncertainty, and state investors definitely don't like uncertainty.
And how does Finland's election, which is expected next year, affect things?
Yeah, just stepping back, we've reported this is clearly a messy situation. It's leaked, and so it's taking place in the public glare. Which is not conducive to M&A, especially when you're talking about a company that is seen as nationally important and has just completed a demerger designed to create growth over the next year or two. So in that regard, Weir's timing might be a bit off. We're also 12 months away from a parliamentary election in Finland, and there's going to be a lot of ministerial shuffling going on. It's a 6-party coalition. So ministers are not going to keep quiet about this deal, especially when the Finnish, who are very proud of their highly industrialised and competitive manufacturing economy and are already mourning the demise of other companies such as Nokia.
And what clarity do we need to see on the terms?
One area, cost synergies. What's the level of cost synergies? Analysts have said that understanding the level of cost synergies is key, because if you just bolt these two businesses together, it's going to dilute the earnings of Weir, assuming it's a 60-40 merger, which has been guided.
And how do you think this is going to play out?
Difficult, but what I would be doing is tracking and really trying to understand the political climate. This isn't necessarily about employee job losses. This is about the loss potentially of a major Finnish industrial group. So how do the voters perceive that, and how will the politicians react?
And on that subject, we're seeing. Do you think we're seeing politics playing a bigger and bigger role in deal making?
I think that since 2008, deals have been political, but what's happening is that the market is just getting better at understanding and reading that political risk. So if you go back to 2011, when GDF, part state French-owned GDF Suez, made its bid for the remaining 30% of the UK's IPR, that came weeks prior to France's general election in 2011. So why did they move when they did? Was that because they feared that Hollande was going to get into power and that a socialist president would not back the offer? That's what we thought at the time. That's what we wrote at the time.
OK, Ed, Lucinda, thanks very much, and thank you for listening.